early game. And that's why I would hate to see Babip completely go away from early game junglers. You know, I don't want to see him looking something like a Sejuani. I would like to continue to see him go towards a Jarvan or a Gragas and try and have some lane impact.
Well, we'll see if he can. We are into picks and bans. Mammoth on the blue, Unicorns of Love had side selection, elected a red side. Kiana, KO ban, Gangplank ban, and the Pantheon removed by the Unicorns.
All right, so taking away Fudge's Gangplank, a champion that he has been pretty good on so far. However, not a champion that I necessarily think about Fudge with. That's going to be a Xayah ban as well. Kind of strange to see King ban it away from himself, but certainly has confidence on other picks.
Oh, he definitely does. He's very strong on some of those other picks, but he has been very effective when he has got his hands on the Xayah. Unicorns of Love with the final ban here. Let's think about what snuck its way through. Skarner is removed. What power picks are left available for Mammoth?
Jarvan, Syndra, these kind of picks are still going to be available.
And it looks like it might be the Syndra locked in for them. Expect that to go towards triple, but it has been flexed. We've seen a lot of Syndra bot lane throughout the LEC and in solo queue over the last few weeks. Unicorns of Love, after seeing the Xayah ban, say, well, we'll take the other top tier bot laner right now in the form of the Kai'Sa.
Yeah, Kai'Sa is one of those champions that kind of just does it all and doesn't really... Oh, there we go.
Okay. Now, No Man's is devastating on this Vladimir. He can absolutely dominate games. We've seen it banned against him most games this tournament. So this is an incredibly powerful pick for the Unicorns.
And Triple is also a big Vladimir player in his own right. So I will be interested to see whether it's going to be Syndra that he takes into the pick or whether this can be flexed to King and whether they can play something else into it mid lane. It does not look to be the case. It looks like we're going to get Syndra, Vlad, and Lucian in the bottom lane.
Looks like it's going to be Syndra into the Vlad, as you say. Lucian in the bottom lane. What will Destiny pick alongside this? Lucian Braum is a very well-known combination. You could go for something like the Alistar as well. Rakan still available.
I would personally like to see something like Rakan or Alistar over the Braum. Destiny's certainly a better proactive player than reactive player, in my opinion.
And Nautilus fulfills a similar role.
Yep.
You can jump on towards that Kai'Sa pretty easily. It does mean Mammoth are leaving their jungle pick for that second rotation. Unicorns of Love will have a couple of bans to put towards it.
And so the thing about Babip is, even though we've seen him play really heavy scaling junglers, when he came up throughout his early career was at least in Italy 2-trick. Like, literally went nowhere near the tank champions at all. Recent performance has been that he goes further towards tank junglers. However, always that opportunity to have a throwback game.
It definitely is. I was expecting the Morgana here into a Nautilus. It makes a lot of sense, but instead, Edward saying, well, I used to be called the Thresh Prince. I'm going to bring back out the Thresh for this game, team that alongside the Kai'Sa. We haven't talked about it, but of course, there is a very small possibility that Lucian goes towards the top lane, and we see a different AD carry pick bot lane. It's very small, but it is a possibility.
Or even the mid lane. Triple's played AD carries mid his kind of whole career. I would expect it to be, you know, as we've already mentioned, mid lane Syndra, bottom lane Lucian, Nautilus. Try and get an opportunistic counter pick if you have the opportunity for Fudge. I don't think, however, that is what Unicorns of Love are going to give to him. No. I would like to see them hold this pick for boss, because Vlad is also technically still a flex as well.
Although for it not to go into No Man's hands would be surprising to say the least. Mammoth here waiting a long time for their second ban of this phase, first ban of this phase. So it's going to be the Jax taken away. A very strong scaling top lane. It can be played in the jungle, and now Unicorns deciding where they want to focus with this last ban of the game.
We'll see whether we see a Camille, because whenever I see Jax banned, I'm like, the enemy team probably wants to play a fighter. Renekton has been something that has just fallen off like in priority so heavily.
I mean, there's so many picks that have fallen off in priority. Renekton and even the Echo, we saw that played almost every game in day one. Here, we haven't seen it at all today.
Yeah, it wasn't a successful champion day one.
Oh, so. No, I'm not saying it was successful, but it was still seen as very strong by most people.
Yeah, I think a correction there in both merits, because even Renekton wasn't all that successful in hindsight. So we'll see whether it's something that does come out, because the jungles, the top lane champion pool is starting to get knocked down.
We'll see where it goes. Mammoth's final ban. Everything on the line in this game. Rek'Sai taken away from a Nanosic. Now, other picks he had played, especially in their finals, he liked the Nocturne, he liked the Kha'Zix, those aggressive AD carry pick, AD junglers that can get on towards the backline.
I really would like one of those this game as well, because Vladimir is a really good side lane, a great core medic. And And with Thresh, you have the ability to generate these picks that we keep talking about. You know, turn the lights out, move into a quadrant of the jungle. If the opponents don't respect, if they cheat through an area that they don't have vision, it's so incredibly difficult to contest.
Okay, I love the way your voice slowed there for a little bit because we don't talk about hovers, and there is a reason we don't talk about hovers there, Spawn. It looks like it's going to be the Sejuani. I believe that's the first time we have seen it this tournament at Worlds Play-ins. And there's the Camille you talked about. Incredible prediction there. Just off the Jax ban, we know that Camille's going top lane.
Yeah, absolutely. And not an incredible prediction. I've just been witnessed teams be bopped by the Camille in the past.
Take the compliment, Spawn. Take the compliment.
Thank you very much, sir. And partnered with something like the Sejuani, turns what is normally a farm to 6 jungler into a pretty good top lane ganker this time around. Also, potentially could visit bottom lane. And I do like the response here out of Boss. You have to be able to go toe-to-toe in the early game. However, in a straight-up 2v2, I do think there is a lot of room for Fudge and Babip to play this.
So it's all going to be about the top lane early on. You have to feel Sejuani, Camille, so powerful. You proc that Sejuani Icebreaker so quickly. And Camille can dodge in and out of fights pretty effectively. Bot side, a little bit of aggression coming out from both sides. Thresh on one, Nautilus on the other. Lucian, a strong laning AD carry. Mid lane, both power picks for these players. Syndra, Triple so comfortable on the Syndra. Nomad's known for his Vladimir the world over.
And different forms of scaling picked up. You have Vladimir, Kai'Sa, and Nocturne to be able to reduce vision. That is such a good team fighting late game comp coming out of the Unicorns of Love. However, no one goes near Camille late game, maybe apart from Jax. If isolated in the side lane, Camille is just a turret destroyer, a champion destroyer, has increased mobility so can dodge out on a lot of these ganks, and has really good 2v1 turn potential because of the fact that Ultimatum knocks people back. Yeah. So I think this is going to be an area where conflicting styles will be apparent on Summoner's Rift in this game.
It definitely is going to be. So far, 2 games played, 2 mammoth victories. The Oceanic representatives trying to make the knockout stages for the first time since Play-ins began. Unicorns of Love, so often a team that battled to get to Worlds from Europe. Now, in the Commonwealth of Independent States, they have made it to Worlds for the first time. And this could be the end of the road for them. They're not done yet. Their fans in the audience keep telling us to fear their horns. Well, Mammoth say, we've got tusks, mate. We'll take you on as much as we can. 1 game to decide it all. Mammoth versus the Unicorns of Love. Oceania versus the Commonwealth of Independent States. It all comes down to this.
And quite surprisingly, we just have a fan out. You know, no one really wants to give too much away at level 1. And I really respect this decision. Take a look at some of the summoner spells right now. You can see combat summoners taken in the bottom lane. They want fireworks. And Triple and Nomads both go with the teleport. They know that if UOL get a lead and can go into a 1-3-1, that it is really difficult to dig them out of that with a Nocturne jungle. So respect the choice here from Triple to be able to match.
The silence before the storm you have to feel. So much on the line for both these teams, and we talked a lot about the top lane. You can see both junglers, actually, I was going to say both junglers starting bottom side, but it looks like it's only Babip starting on the bottom side of the map. And Anasik currently at his red buff, maybe looking for a level 2.
That's good information gained there for Fudge. So he can see Boss is going to leash. So he either, as soon as you see the Joy lane of Unicorns of Love starting in lane, you know exactly where the Nocturne is. This should give Sejuani area to be able to successfully navigate. Sejuani's clear as far as tanks goes, actually ridiculously good, just because of the fact that you can continue to pop that passive. So pressure on Babip to be able to, I think, actually get something done in this early game. I don't think you can let an Anasik either get a successful gank or just farm to level 6. I think you want to have an impact in one of these lanes.
You definitely do. And you have to look towards the melee lanes. That's where Sejuani is so impactful. And well, who have you got? You've got Destiny on the Nautilus, or you've got Fudge in the top lane. Both have CC to set you up. Both can lock someone down pretty easily for that permafrost to go down. At the moment, both junglers just doing their Krugs. Sejuani a little bit slower than the Nocturne, who has that AoE damage, and Anasik already on his Razor Beaks. And a lot of damage coming out from Triple in the mid lane. Nomad's taking the wrong side of a trade, taking an Electrocute proc to the back.
But this is the thing about going into a Vlad lane when you know your opponent doesn't have the Ignite. the damage does become a little bit predictable. So you know exactly how much you can tank before you have to start rolling through your pots, before you transfuse your way up. And an Anasik here doing a very good job of scouting out the jungle path, not to mention the fact that Edward wants to visit mid lane.
Yeah, Edward's already left bottom lane a long time ago. He's mid, looking for Triple. Has the play, will land it. Triple flashes away from the death sentence, but that's a summoner burnt in the mid lane. And Anasik now, with the priority mid, can come across, try and catch up Babbitt. The blast cone will knock him back. And Anasik is going to start up the blue.
So this is a risky invade because despite the fact that Edward came up and burnt the flash, he doesn't have priority mid. So you can see an Anasik already leaving. And this is a 2v2 we spoke of. I think that you still have to respect the fact that Sejuani and Camille have such great synergies in the early game that if Fudge just ditches that wave and rotates over, the passive is going to play a major role.
This is the benefit that Anasik gets out of it, though. They have that ward in, so he knows he's pretty safe doing that Scuttle Crab. Even without any mana, he can look to take 2 Scuttles away from the Sejuani, and that gets him towards level 6 quicker, which gets him towards that first Paranoia.
If you take your eyes towards the bottom lane, I don't think he's going to get double Scuttle Crabs because you can see the Mammoth bottom lane moves up to counter jungle one away. Also going to get good vision, recovered throughout the river. I thought they would knock that onto the Nocturne to see exactly where he is at the Wolf Camp, to just know the timing, because their wave hasn't been pushed completely in, and they are under a slight risk of being ganked here.
The Edward Roam has cost Inex quite a lot in that bottom lane, though. They're 12 CS behind, and the waves are even here. So overall, King and Destiny coming out on top of that. Teleport used mid lane here by Triple to get back towards the wave, as Nomans has just stayed around to try and push it out, but he should be able to back away, burn his teleport in response if he so desires. Meanwhile, Boss is trading onto Fudge here in the top side. Fudge gets the adapted defenses, and the Ruthless Predator from Boss was enough just to chip him away. There's okay vision for Unicorns of Love, so they'll know that Barbip is getting in towards this bush.
Yeah, that must have been a little bit of sloppy pathing from Barbip because they sent a ping down onto the ramp. Now, whilst it looks like Scuttle Crab covers the entirety of that ramp, if you do hug the left wall, you can sneak past undetected. Yep. So that's a little area that we're looking at. And the ping was at the correct time, so I assume that was vision as opposed to an educated guess.
Of course, these teams are very good at tracking the enemy jungler, just generally don't always have to be exactly aware of where they are. We saw a bunch of question mark pings coming out from Mammoth on the blue side jungle of the Unicorn, saying we think this is cleared away. Don't think you can go in and steal anything for now, but across the board, it's pretty even in most lanes, apart from that bot lane discrepancy that we already mentioned. And I think we're really waiting for that level 6. That's when things will start to come online, and Anasik still only 4. Barbip is still only 4, but Fudge is up towards that 6 mark pretty soon.
However, the pressure in the top lane is starting to stack up. You saw Babip got invaded early by an Anasik. Now Fudge is being pushed towards his turret twice, is out of corrupting potion charges, and is going to be, you know, about a creep wave behind in CS already. So really nice job from Boss. He helped his jungler out early, and he's still been able to maintain his top lane lead without really giving too much away. This is a very early Dragon medic.
It's very sneaky as well from them. You can get, of course, the permafrost off quicker because you have Destiny there for the melee auto attacks. It's very easy to take objectives as a Sejuani if you have a little bit of help because of how often that ability comes off cooldown. And the Mountain Drake at 5 minutes in. It's a good start for Mammoth here. They are 2-0 up over the Unicorns across the course of this tournament. And Anasik on the blue side of the Mammoth jungle.
And the reason I like Mountain Dragon is because I think at this stage... Ooh, did they spot that?
Fudge just jumped
They must have.
They must have. They must have.
So what I was going to say is I really think that UOL's 1-3-1, just given the Nocturne ability to be able to turn out the lights and attack the side lane, is really high. Mountain Dragon allows you to force around objectives much more successfully. They do have a tank. They have the Camille. If people start hitting the Baron, it's going to fall down very quickly. So that's going to be a crucial dragon to track as the game goes on. If they can get 1 or 2 more of those, then it will go a long way towards Mammoth wins conditions.
Unfortunately for Mammoth, the next one is a Cloud Dragon, but obviously want that, get the extra movement speed into the fight. It looks like Nomans and Anasik are roaming up towards the top side here. They got some deep vision in that Babip is clearing out, but Nomans and Anasik looking for the dive. Fudge, level 6, has the Hexacodomatum, has the flash. Here we go. Triple on his way up as well. Babip started the Gromp. They're going for it. Noman's going in. Only level 5 on Babip, but Fudge, the Hemo play is going to connect. Boss underneath the tower, and Anasik the first target. Look at the damage onto Fudge. Babip almost falls as well. He will go down his first blood. Triple coming in from the side as well, but Boss has to try and flash away down towards the bottom of the fight. Mammoth still chasing him down, looking for the 1-for-1 trade if they can get it. And in the end, Boss will fall. Fudge takes it 1-for-1 in the top lane.
Yeah, and that's a really nice rotation up from Triple because he read the play nice and early. Must have been good communication from Fudge. Still creeps were lost to the turret, and that's going to be 17 CS lead for Boss. Let's take another look at this one. Fudge trapped under his turret. Double wave coming in. Nomanz is going to be the person, I believe, that picked up aggro. No, it was Ananasik, and that's why the rotation had to come out so quickly. I think that's a little bit of a mistake at the start. Obviously, Vlad's very good at being able to reset that. The fact that Nomanz grabbed the first blood is huge. Vlad scaling off the charts. A little bit of a strange flash here from Boss. Would have liked to see him just fall down. Not really ever going to escape from this.
Yeah, sometimes you just have to give up the fact that you're going to die and you don't really want to be burning those summoners.
And think about what you get if you keep Boss's flash. The next gank becomes so much easier to guarantee. You know, as long as Fudge doesn't have access to a wall, you just flash on him. Big point-and-click CC going to be there. You know, and Ananasik with the ult this time just going to fly in and be able to pick up that kill. I think that's a little bit of a trick miss there from the Unicorns of Love top laner, but I like the proactive early game.
I'm wondering if Ananasik wants to come down towards this bottom lane now. There's been a lot of just 2v2 pressure from King and Destiny after Edward's early roam, and he has got the paranoia available. You could relieve some of that pressure. And this is where the question for junglers becomes, do I want to help out my losing side of the map, or do I want to play around the side of the map I think is going to win?
And I always think to myself in this situation, which area do I win, the 3v3 versus the 2v2? And I just don't think that they will win that bottom lane all in. I think Nautilus's power at this stage of the game, the ability to have CC through the auto attack on multiple people, he's a lot tankier Thresh as well at this stage of the game, is going to hamper that. So if it's an equal number trade, I would want to be around my level 7 Renekton, who's got himself a BF sword, as well as that Dominus available.
It's actually really tough for Fudge. He's just backed away once again, and the wave is in an awful position for him on that top side. 12 CS lead for Boss, but the wave continues just to push in towards him, so he can actually freeze it in a very hard position for Fudge to deal with.
Now the bottom lane prospects becomes a lot more interesting, however, Medic, because they have been able to push in mid lane wave, and they're actually sending 4 members down towards this bottom lane.
They're going for the fight first. Mammoth didn't realize the dredge line doesn't connect. Edward caught out. Here's the paranoia as well. They're looking for Edward, and the damage coming down onto King as well. He flashes underneath the tower. Knock up on towards Ananasik. He almost falls, but Ananasik will take down Destiny King. Just about surviving, but Nomanz gets it. It's 3. Triple coming in. Can't get the damage down onto Nomanz. Fudge didn't TP in. It's a slaughter in the bottom lane. And the Unicorn stampede over Mammoth.
It's a disaster. UOL wiped the floor with Mammoth. They're going to be able to pick up all 4 kills. They will get themselves some turret plates. And that is now a 2,500 gold lead.
Absolutely devastating for the Oceanic representatives. They were the ones to try and make the play, but you can see Destiny missing the hook and Unicorn's ready to react.
And you can see the exact moment where Mammoth knew that they had made the mistake. Nomanz is just down here so quickly. They did not account for the mismatched numbers. Fudge, as you mentioned, decides to hold on to the teleport, which makes this decision even crazier. Flashing forward, the heal comes out to save Nomanz, and no kills going across for triple.
You can see how low all of the Unicorns were at the end of that. Nomanz dancing with death, but his transfusions, his healing on that Vladimir, keeping him well and truly alive. Now, Mammoth are going to make a play up towards the Rift Tower, trying to keep this tempo in their favor if they can, but the Unicorns will look to react. Ananasik here, Nomanz coming from the mid lane. Babip secures the Rift Herald and they will get out, so that's a small objective over to Mammoth at least.
And it's the tiniest things in League of Legends, right? As soon as you stick around for that plate, you know, it's about 8 seconds on your recall, plus your shop and getting back out of base. You give the advantage in the first move back to Mammoth with that. So you got yourself a little bit more extra gold. You also didn't have your tools up and available. You have to check the toolkit. You know, Nocturne didn't have his ult when it was started. At the same time, nothing there for Kai'Sa and Edward. So that means that they don't really have the ability to force that fight either. You don't want to run into Lucian. He's one of the best AD carries without an ultimate available. King's still completely fine in this game. So I respect the decision of saying, you know what, we won the bottom lane fight. Let's just settle with that. Give them the Herald. What are they going to be able to do with it?
Sometimes you have to know when not to try and make a play, and that's what Unicorns did right there.
Destiny's a real brush hooker.
Yeah.
He does that a lot.
Sometimes you just got to check it with your face, you know?
I'm not sure that's the way it works.
Right, that's what he's doing.
Sure.
But, bot lane... Bot lane is the only real shining light here for Mammoth. They have a 40 CS lead, 35 CS lead on King, which means he is about 500 gold ahead. But if you look up towards the top side, Boss has got himself a sizable 1,000 gold lead on the Renekton, now sitting on a Spear of Sojourn, which makes him so much more powerful. And although the Camille will outscale him, that's going to take even longer now that Boss has an advantage.
And the thing about Renekton with Sojourn is it's really hard to read which lanes he wins and loses because it's really based off his ability to be able to get the empowered Ws and just hold you in place. I've seen him one hit, Camille's in the late game if he's able to get enough items, and not going to really be a tanky route for Fudge unless he adapts his build to go second item Sterix or something like that. If you face check the Renekton, you just might die.
Yeah, you definitely will right now. It's 15 CS discrepancy. It's very difficult for Fudge to do too much, and Nomans and Ananasik have been this duo squad, guerrilla warfare, getting into the jungle of M&M all the time. Sorry, Mammoth.
And what a great time to attack this bottom lane, because you can see right now that Destiny is just coming out of base. There's not really all that much force you can do. You're definitely not going to pick up kills, so they'll be able to grab themselves the first turret. Yeah. On the side of UOL, and this game so far has been really good reads after reads, and the ability to use that mid lane pressure that Nomans on this Vladimir is providing to get to the areas of the map and impact early on.
I think the thing is, even if Unicorns hadn't picked up 4 kills in that bot lane play, they would still be out-macroing Mammoth. Yeah. They would still be playing the map a lot better than Mammoth have been. Hook's gonna land here. That's onto King. The box coming down as well. King has a heal, but no flash. Teleport in by Nomans, and Destiny's on the wrong side of this. He hooks the wall, not the bush this time. He's gonna try and escape. Triple has joined the fight as well with his teleport. Mammoth able to defend the fight that was happening in the top side, but look at the bot lane. Unicorns, this is a tier 2 tower 14 minutes into the game, and Fudge can do nothing about it.
And you mentioned the macro word. That is just a complete styling from Unicorns. They dedicate the perfect amount of resources top. They know exactly what they need to be able to save that turret. They push for a second. Now they don't even really care if top falls down. It's going to be past 14 minutes. Plate's no longer available. This has been a clinic, and I just want to echo what you were saying before they went for that play. Roam from Nomans into the top lane. That was the first one, resulted in 1-for-1. Hold the thought. Triple might be under fire here.
And Ananasik has paranoia, yeah.
Okay, not going to go for it. Then the 4-man roam into bottom lane. This time, the perfect split resources cross map. You can see that UOL playing with a lot of confidence versus this Mammoth lineup.
And understanding where the weak side of their map is as well. Inax, they haven't deliberately funneled into him. He's been picking up assists, etc. But they're accepting the fact he's going to fall behind on CS to make sure Nomans and Boss get ahead.
And that was a choice from level 2.
Yep.
And he just bailed on the guy, was like, I'm out, mate. I'm going mid lane. And I think that this has been a really smart choice, because in a 1-3-1, and I said this about the Isurus comp, doesn't really matter how much your 80 carry gets ahead. They're there to clean the mid lane wave with the help of the support and the jungler. It's all about the work that Boss and Nomans can do in this game, and they are the 2 members that are so far ahead.
At the 15-minute mark, it's a 3,300 gold lead for the Unicorns of Love. 2-0-0 on Nomans, on the Vladimir. Has a proto belt, building up towards that second item. Spear of Sojin complete on Boss. He's 2-1-2. You look at the other side, Mammoth trailing behind. Blade of the Ruin King complete on King is good. Ludens as well on Triple, but yet to see them really have that potential to take these fights.
And I don't think they can take fights for at least another item. You're going to have to get life cut, because King might be in trouble.
Hook doesn't connect, but the paranoia comes in. Flash away, chase flash from Ananasik, and the spell shield to stop himself getting stunned up. That's impeccable stuff from the Unicorns of Love. Triple fighting Boss in the mid lane as Fudge comes in with a teleport. This might be a moment for Fudge. Looking for the wall dive, jumps in, but Boss just so tanky. Hexagold made him underneath the tower. There's no unleashed power here for Triple. Boss able to dodge around. Mammoth investing a lot into the mid lane.
They certainly are, and they might be able to get the turret, but still the race is on, and Unicorns in the fast rotation. Once again, Macro was kind of born in Europe, and you can see that they're doing a really good job of reducing the options of Mammoth.
This is dangerous for Triple because the teleport comes in behind them. I mean, Fudge can get out, but where's Triple going to go? Scatter the Weak knocks them back. Babbitt trying to get here as well. Triple has the blast cone. Isn't going to use it. And I mean, Inex is just going to get closer to him. It's a pretty easy chase if Inex flashes in. Cathian Rain is enough. Fudge gets out to the bottom side.
And the reason they didn't go together is because if they grouped up and Triple got tagged with any CC, it would have allowed Inax to fly in with the ultimate and potentially get the 2-for-1 special. Yeah. So I really respect the decision of splitting. Mistake already made. You overstayed your welcome. And it just continues here.
Destiny's just all the way in the enemy jungle. Inax jumps in with a killer instinct. That's just poor positioning from Mammoth. Unicorns will happily accept the kill, but Mammoth are all over the place.
And Mammoth are getting destroyed. You can really see the toll that these games have taken on the Oceanic representatives. UOL seem to be ramping up in this tournament. And Mammoth, unfortunately, right now, there is no good news for them. They're down 5,000 gold. I think they get outscaled. And I also think Unicorn's comp is easier to play.
Yeah, Unicorns of Love looking incredibly strong so far. just have to look at the next steps. You've got 3 minutes on the Baron. Cloud Drake up in 20 seconds if you want it, but you can just keep Boss in a side lane. You can keep Noman's in a side lane right now. They're so powerful.
So the only good news is that there is no teleport available for Boss and Noman. So it means they can't converge on you. However, what they will be able to do, because they are so far ahead, is continue to push out these waves and give Ananasik opportunities with the Paranoia to attack you. What I expect to see is Boss go down onto the island bottom lane. There is no turret there. And for the UOL members to control the top side of Mammoth's jungle, around that blue buff area, and try and look for opportunistic picks. Might happen after the dragon is taken away and Baron becomes a primary objective in 3 minutes, but that is how UOL should be looking to close out this game.
I'm sure they have those steps in mind, and Ananasik is going to start up the Cloud Drake here. Should be an easy enough secure for him. A bit of extra movement speed for Vladimir for Renekton is very powerful when you get towards these later game fights, and Unicorns just have total control. Triple and Mammoth are just going to try and farm up as much as they can, but they're too far behind right now.
And remember, the thing is, if we know what the steps are, so will Mammoth. So how do they stop that? I think that right now they have to look for what I call a hole punch play. They just need to take members and try and get them into the top side of the jungle. Get a flank on Destiny. Get Triple somewhere a little bit unsuspected. In the setup is the most vulnerable time for Unicorns to get caught. If they do get this 1-3-1 and their fingers dug really deep into it, you're not going to be able to get them out. So you have to be able to get there early.
We saw Destiny trying to get into the enemy jungle a little while ago. Was caught out because of it. Unicorn's very quick at reacting, fighting for seeding. But now, as you say, 4 members strong. Mammoth were trying to get control of their own jungle, not going too deep into the side of Unicorns of Love as of yet.
And you can see how scared they are. They were just sitting on that pink ward saying, please come face check us. We really need this one. Yeah. However, Unicorn's just so disciplined. They're actually holding their waves. You know, they're not clearing them out too quickly. They're making sure that as much farm is denied away. And this is the area of the game where it's nearly impossible to get them out of this now. They have mid lane priority, tier 1 turret still up. You can see moving in as 3 when they see King and Destiny show on mid lane wave. And honestly, like, this part of the game just sucks now. For Mammoth.
If you're Mammoth, you're just starved out of everything. Can't get your own resources, don't get vision on the enemy. Unicorns showing perhaps some of the coaching prowess that has been put behind this team in the form of Sheepy, who used to coach the Unicorns in the EU LCS.
So the only thing I would like to see is a ward placed about there. Yeah. Because that will allow Nomans to be able to push much further up. The greedy ward is to be able to get one in here. Looks like Nomans is going to go for it himself. But this is an area of the map that you can't really do all that much. Vlad's going to take so long to kill. And with Baron up on the map, you're going to have to send 2, maybe 3 members down there. That's just going to bleed objectives over. You'll hold this situation and continue to starve them out of pressure for as long as you can.
5,500 gold lead for Unicorns as they look for the engage. It's all on Triple. The hook connects. And goodbye, Triple. Inex goes on a killing spree, but it was methodical. It was step by step. Fudge having to dodge away from Nomans. That play was set up 5 minutes ago by Unicorn.
That's just beautiful League of Legends. You know, you can't even be mad watching that as an Oceanic fan because they've just got their fingers stuck in this 1-3-1. Now they're going to force the mismatch numbers of Mammoth to come towards them. This is actually a risky play. There is teleport available on Triple. Can he get in?
Fudge is not coming up to this fight though, when the hook connects onto Destiny. And Ananasik low, but has the GA, and Destiny will pay for his face check with his life. Now Babbitt, all on the jungler, all on him. They're not going to go for it. The Baron de-aggros, and Unicorns just accept the kill.
And I really respect the decision there. Unicorns just using their pressure to generate another kill. This is going to stagger recall timers. It means if they now want to swap their control towards the bottom side of the map for this Infernal Dragon that's coming up, they have the time to do it. This has really been a masterclass in 1-3-1, and something that Frost said that really stuck to me is this is a team that can pick the way it beats you. One of the only playing teams that doesn't have a defined style, that doesn't just have to run it back in the exact same way every time. She credits UOL with being the strongest play-in or emerging region team, and I think that they really are showing that right now against Mammoth.
It's taken them a while really to scale up into the tournament because, of course, the last 2 times they played Mammoth, they lost. They went 0-2. But here, you see the prowess. You see the refinement of the way this team plays.
On the flip side, however, they have beaten North America's 3rd seed twice.
That's true.
That in itself is a massive statement. They're going to get another shot at it after this game if they close it out. They could still come out of this group
as the #1
first seed.
Which would be absolutely incredible for the Unicorns of Love. Mammoth trying to stand in their way right now. 6,000 gold behind, though. And as you say, it really looks like Unicorns scale better as the game does go on. Trinity Force finished on Fudge. You've got Essence Reaver and the Blade of the Ruin King on King. So there is some damage coming out from this composition, but you look at it, Inax, Ginsu's, Manamune stacking up. Almost a Rabadon's complete on Noman's, and Unicorns will pull you in again. They say fighters now. Boss trying to get onto Fudge, trying to make this fight happen in the bottom lane so that Fudge can't join the fight. The Baron's still going on as the Unicorns of Love move the fight to two fronts. Now Unicorns disengage. Fudge was able to get away from Boss in the bottom lane. Edward caught out with a force of will, but Mammoth aren't going to be able to follow up too much longer. Noman's looking for the flank position, isn't going to go for it.
And I think that was a bad decision from Unicorns because they hadn't pushed out mid lane wave far enough, and now this is going to... Ooh, stun will let register. Gives King and Babip an opportunity to be able to take down this turret. I think they must be able to pounce on this. And you can see that this will also allow an earlier rotation into that Infernal Drake. If you just still had Vladimir sitting top lane, he's 2 levels above Triple. He's like much stronger than Triple. There's no lifesteal cut on Triple. There's not even any boots to. Hold the
Here
thought.
we go, and Anasik getting in the spell shield will stop Destiny from getting the stun off, but that is a big paranoia used to flash and heal burnt on King.
Yeah, I'm not going to say nice things about people anymore, because when they do, they always disappoint me, Medic. You can see that they're over-forcing now. They're not setting up the map before it. That still will net themselves the Infernal Dragon, but they are giving Mammoth windows right now. They're skipping steps in the play.
Oh, I thought Mammoth were doing Baron. They're just clearing out vision.
No, they're just regaining topside control, because Mammoth knows that every minute of this game goes on, it gives them another minute where UOL might make a game-changing mistake. That's all they're hoping for right now. They know they get outscaled. They know that they need a miracle to happen in this best of one if they want to be able to continue on. And I think that, you know, UOL just have to chuck that Kai'Sa back in the mid lane and be able to get Vlad and Boss back into their side lanes, because Ananasik is going to one-hit whoever answers those waves.
He's going to do a huge amount of damage, to be sure. 5,000 gold lead for the Unicorns of Love. 2016 was the last time a team from the Commonwealth of Independent States made it to the main stage of Worlds. That was Albus Nox, and we all know how that went for them. Since then, they've gone lost in play-ins groups. That was Gambit, knocked out by C9 in 2017.
That was so close.
That was so close, best of 5, but Unicorns of Love looking to do one better, and getting first seed would mean a lot to them. Of course, they have to win this game first. Mammoth playing around the bottom side, Triple looking to see perhaps if Boss overextends, because he does have teleport. He could join a fight at Baron if it began.
Yeah, cute play from Triple. However, you can see right now that without showing on top lane wave, they know exactly where he is. Boss does the right thing. He just stays away. Noman's is going to push up a little bit further, and Boss can just catch this wave at turret.
Triple's in the bush. Is Boss going to take the bait? Is he going to... No, Boss. It's a smart play. It's what we've seen from Unicorns all game.
It's a process of elimination. As long as you can count to 5, you know this is happening. However, Boss now...
He just backs away straight away. That's all you have to do. They've started Baron. Unicorns of Love on the Baron now. 3 members strong for Mammoth. If they want to fight it, have double TP in. 8,000 HP left on the objective. First teleport coming in by Triple. Boss still down in the bottom lane. He's going to teleport in as well, straight onto the face of Triple. And now Fudge TPing in. Baron de-aggroed. Boss on the front line. Spirit of Sojourn. There's the paranoia onto the back line. The Zhonya's comes out. This could be the fight for Mammoth if they can find it, but Noman's is on the back line. Inax is on a rampage, and Noman's just zones out 4 players from Mammoth. And this is so easy for the Unicorns. They just do exactly what they need to. They get 2 TPs out, they kill Triple, and they turn back to the Baron.
Yeah, exactly right. They're going to force the face check one more time. They don't necessarily have the highest health bars. However, with Fudge back in base, with no teleport, this is going to be a genuine 3v5 that Mammoth must go for if they want to stay in this game.
King trying to get behind them here, but Noman's is just going to act as a bouncer. Destiny once again hooking into the bush. The Void Seeker's going to connect, and now 3,000 HP on the Baron. Babbitt can't get anywhere near it. You have to think Mammoth give this one up. Baron goes down. Noman's jumps onto Babbitt, who jumps across the wall. 11 kills to 1. Babbitt in their back pocket. 26 minutes in, Unicorns of Love have a 7,000 gold lead.
Yeah, really nicely played there from the Unicorns of Love, and I just continue to be impressed by the ability to take that deep breath of this team. They don't get carried away.
Yep.
Sure, they started forcing a little bit, but then all of a sudden the calm returns, the ability to go back to the game plan, force them to come to us, choke them out of vision. Let's use our Nocturne in a way that would make Vedi proud. And they've just been able to do it. They've executed so well on their game plan.
It really has been top-notch League of Legends to watch. Mammoth still trying to fight their way back, but you're 0-4 on Triple, you're 0-2 on King. Fudge, the only one with a positive KDA on the entire lineup, and even he is 30 CS behind. Noman's going to check straight into Fudge here, pops the Sanguine Pool to get away. Fudge trying to do some damage, but Noman's just runs his way away. The phase rush, doing a huge amount of work.
And then meanwhile in bottom lane, Boss is just continuing to push out the wave, continuing to exert pressure onto the map. You can see that Noman's has to grab that wave and reshove it out. However, the patience play will continue. They just regain control of the area that they want to play around. They sweep out all of the vision, and they remove options from Mammoth.
Mammoth with no teleports left as well means no one can really answer No Man's in a side lane. Babbitt's going to try and clear out this wave, but the cannon minion continues to chip away at the tower. Boss down towards the bottom side. Unicorns waiting for their next wave. Boss maybe a little bit pushed up here.
Yeah,
that's the only weakness. He's a little bit too far forward. Fudge going to come in with a Hextech Ultimatum, and this might be the play for Mammoth. They're looking for the catch. Teleport coming in here by Nomad's. Paranoia used as well. Boss pops the stopwatch just in time, and Nomad's is going to join the fate. The Glacial Prism doesn't connect. Boss still alive on the back. And look at Ananasik. He takes down the kill onto King. Nomad's doing as much work as he can in the middle of the fight as Ananasik still has the GA to come up. Inax jumps forward. Yet to see a Unicorn fall. Inax jumps in. Triple trying to survive, but pop he goes. The Unicorns are dominant. The Unicorns are unstoppable, and they are making their way to playing knockouts.
Another clean team fight for the Unicorns of Love. They will look to push onto the Nexus. They will look to continue their run against Clutch.
Incredible stuff here from the Unicorns of Love. At the third time of asking, they take down Mammoth, and they will play Clutch for first seed in the group.
A beautiful game plan, beautiful execution, and that will see Unicorns of Love continue their run. You can see the devastation on Triple's face. Oceanic fans thought this could be the year, but at the final hurdle, again they fall.
So close yet so far. The Unicorns had an impeccable performance. From minute 2, they had control of the game. They played it methodically, they played it slowly. They knew exactly how every minute was going to go. They planned it out, and Mammoth just couldn't find the answer.
And they flipped the script. You know, you were listening to what the analysts thought. You know, just take it late, play the team fight. They say, you know what? That's Mammoth's strength. We want to be able to play this macro-heavy style. Edward was one of the best shot-calling supports in the European LCS when he played over here. And this is a team that understands that if you are cleaning your setup, you remove options from the other team, and you're able to just continue to whittle away at that gold lead. It wasn't, you know, fancy League of Legends. This was just back to basic, the real grind from the Unicorns of Love.
Great stuff all around from the Unicorns. Of course, commiserations to Mammoth. Getting knocked out in a game like this is obviously disheartening for them, disheartening for the Oceanic fans at home. Our thoughts only go out to them. But for the Unicorns, after so many times of asking, after playing through the EU LCS gauntlet so many times, now to be challenging on the world stage, to be looking towards maybe that first seed, maybe an easier matchup, maybe even world groups, is such a great sign for this team.
Yeah, it certainly is. I mean, speaking for Oceania, that sucks.
Yeah,
you had 2 opportunities to be able to